welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a review on the new Jeffree Star Summer 2018 collection. It does include the Thirsty palette as well as all of his liquid lipsticks. I have them all already put away. I am trying out a new background, not new, but I just rearranged some things based on the comments from last week's video, or not last week's, but my last video. Got some suggestions to sort of balance it out, so I just figured I'd do that for you. I do mention this later in the video, but I just want to let you guys know the palette retails for $48 and the lipsticks retail for $18 a piece. There is a bundle for the lipsticks, which is slightly discounted, and you can also order this from JeffreeStarCosmetics.com or Beautylish.com. I prefer to order off Beautylish so I can do payments on the shipment. Any order over $50 can be broken up into 3 payments, which makes it really easy. They're also based in the Bay Area in California, which is where I live, so shipping is very quick. Anyways, guys, I don't think there's much more to talk about. If you want to know how I got this eye look and which lipstick this is, keep on watching. As usual with my Jeffree Star reviews, I am going to start with the eye look and then move on to the lip swatches. And as you guys can see, this is the Thirsty palette, and inside I'm going to include swatches of each individual shade nice and close up on my arm. This is the packaging. It's really quite beautiful, and it came in a unicarton, which is pretty much just replicating this with the kind of water droplets on it as well. So going in order of the shades, in each row, kind of left to right, like you would read it technically. We have the shade Parched, which is kind of a creamy, sort of just a creamy bone shade. Taste Buds, which is a lighter peachy color, kind of in between peach and pink. Then we have Bitch, which is more of a coral peach, definitely more neon. Then we have Kumquat, which is sort of a muted roasted orange. Then we have Stroke, which is definitely kind of a orangey brick red. Then in the metallics row we have Divine, which is a very sparkly silver. We have Filthy Rich, which is an even more sparkly gold. We have Lick, and Lick's formula is sort of different from all the other metallics. It's a lot more smooth. It is a very warm-toned gold. And you have Snatched, which is a sort of cool bronze, yet still glittery shade. And then you have Plunge, which is a more warm bronze. Then in the matte row you have Subtle, which is a matte, cool-toned, sort of mid-tone brown. Then you have Quench, which is a bright yellow. You have Submerge, which is a sort of classic blue shade. You have Splash, which is sort of a teal, sort of green-blue hybrid shade. And then Drizzle, which is a much more darker brown than Subtle, still kind of in the same range of kind of cool mid-toned. It is extremely warm today, so if I look sweaty, it's because I am. So I'm going to start off by picking up the shade Parched, which is again that cream shade, and just blending that all over my eyelids. I do have my eyes primed with the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. I've mentioned this in past videos, but I do like using a shade as my base from the palette that I'm using that day. I do feel like shades are sort of designed to blend with the ones they're formulated with, so that's just my kind of preference. If you don't like doing that, that's really fine. Some people like going in just straight with the colors and not setting their primer. And then before I forget, I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can kind of see the eye look more intricately. For my transition shade, I'm going to be using the shade Subtle, which is that sort of light brown. And that is just going to go in my crease and sort of all over. It is a lot more light than I expected it, but I do appreciate that because it works a lot better as a transition shade on me. And if you're any way new to my channel, you will know I am very into more basic eye looks, something that's more wearable to work or school. I'm not big on dramatic eye looks all the time. I definitely can do them, and I can begin doing this more if you'd like, and you can just comment down below and let me know that. But I think that more practical looks, especially with such a bright palette, being able to show you a more practical, useful look of it, definitely makes it a lot easier for the consumers to understand what they're getting into. Subtle is really one of those perfect transition shades for me. So to bump up the color a little bit, I'm taking the shade Taste Buds, which is that pinky peach color, and I'm just kind of doing a light dusting of that through my crease as well. And I am now taking Kumquat. I do want to mention that the shades have a little bit of kickback in the pan, but they are not at all powdery on the eye and blend really well. So far I feel like I have a really good start on this eye look, and it's taken me like a minute. These shades blend incredibly easy, so that is a real good plus for this palette. I've always really liked Jeffree Star's formula, especially his mattes. I'm really excited that he came out with a different glitter formula or sort of metallic formula, because that's the one thing I feel like he's been lacking. To deepen up the outer V, I am going to take Drizzle, and this is on a Luxie 231 small tapered blending. I'm just going to place that initially in the outer corner area and begin blending that out in just small circular motions. These shadows, again, are very, very easy to work with. I feel like they blend exactly where you place them, and they don't sort of blend out patchily or patchy. A lot of brands with their matte formulas lately have not been on par, and Jeffree's formula definitely is. And with the same brush, I'm going to take Drizzle and Subtle, just a mix of the both, on my lower lash line. So at this point in the eye look, if I wanted to make it more work appropriate, I would probably just add Parched to the lid to sort of brighten it up, but not add anything dramatic. But because I want to show you guys the metallic formula, I am going to go in with the shade Filthy Rich, which is that gold shade, and apply that all over my lid and sort of show you guys its potential. Before I do that, I'm just going to take Parched and apply that on my brow bone. And so now with a Luxie 211 concealer brush, it's not really a concealer brush, I'm going to use it for eyeshadow, I am going to pick up the shade Filthy Rich. Luxie brushes are synthetic, which I do prefer for a sort of glitter shade, just because I feel like they pack it on a little bit smoother. And I'm going to come in real close so you guys can see exactly how well this applies. So I don't know if you can see, but there's a little bit of a fallout on my cheeks now that I use this shade. It's a really easy fix. I'm just going to take a powder brush and just sort of whisk it away. Except it's a glitter, so it will sort of get on your cheek. So if there is fallout, it probably will get on your cheek. To mitigate that, I would probably just wet the brush after you get the product on it, because that way it's going to stay on the brush and go directly on your eye and not fall out. I will go ahead and test that on this eye just to make sure that what I'm proposing actually works. Before I move on to the other eye, I'm going to deepen up my outer corner more now that I've applied the lid shade. Okay, now I'm going to the left eyelid and just now with a damp brush to make sure that I don't get any fallout. I will almost go so far as to say as this does not apply as well dampened. So as I went back in with the shade, I didn't continue to dampen it, but I feel like because the brush was already wet, it picked up the product a little bit differently, but it did apply just as well now. So I do think I'm very happy with how the look is. I'm just going to deepen up my outer corner on this side now and then sort of finish up the look. And I have absolutely no fallout on this side of my cheek. For my inner corner, I definitely could use Filthy Rich, but I just want to add a little bit more subtle of an inner corner, and this isn't subtle by any means, but this is the Tarte Chroma Paint Shadow Pot in Top Yacht. I did buy this per James Charles' suggestion, but I do feel like it is it's kind of a very mid-tone shimmer shade. I don't feel like it pulls warm or specifically cool toned, and I just like it. I feel like it kind of just brightens the eye look without adding a lot of color. Okay, I am really happy with how this looks. I'm going to go ahead and throw on mascara now, and we'll go ahead and get into the lip swatches. Alright guys, so this is with the finished eye look. I really, really, really love it. This by far is the favorite palette of mine that Jeffree's ever brought out, and I will probably go so far as to say that this is probably one of my favorite palettes in my collection at this point. It is very versatile, and I really like the formula and just the way it applies, so overall I'm very, very happy. I do currently have the lipsticks sitting here, so I'm just going to pull one at a time and apply them and kind of tell you guys what I think. So I'm going to start with Soft Serve, and Soft Serve is essentially a kind of pinky, very light pink, not very nude, just a light pink, I would say. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that now. So this is Soft Serve. I actually really like this, although it's a pink lipstick and it's very neon. I actually like it on me, which is not very typical. The only thing I will say is that this was a little streaky upon the first application, so I did go over it one more time. It still is very comfortable regardless of having two coats, and I do think that is very pretty. Very easy to fix any streakiness with his formula. So to remove these, I just use a Neutrogena makeup wipe, and then I go over it with my beauty sponge that I use to apply my foundation, just to make sure that there's no color remaining and my lips aren't red. The next color I have is going to be Huntington Beach, and this is a very beautiful kind of blue-green shade. Jeffree did name it after his hometown, as he said, so let's go ahead and apply that. This does apply incredibly smoothly, and there's absolutely no streaks with this color. So it is still drying down, but I do want to say that I really love Jeffree Star's formula, especially with his brighter colors. I love a bold lip from time to time. It's a little bit much, especially with the colorful dress that I'm wearing, but I do really like it. It's a really kind of pretty color. It's definitely not typical. You can definitely use it as an eyeliner or with lip art if that's something you're into as well. But overall, I really like this color as well. And as it dried down, I do like it even more. I feel like a matte color, especially when you're doing something bright and bold, actually makes it a little bit less bold. I don't know why. I just feel like the lack of the gloss makes it a little bit less in your face. So now moving on to the shade Coral Fixation. So this is the color. I definitely see it more as kind of a bright orange, but let's go ahead and apply it and see how it looks on the lips. Oh yeah, this is orange, not coral. So this is the shade Coral Fixation, and oh my god, I'm in love with this shade too. This is so summer and so wearable and so pretty. I love this. This is definitely just an orange lipstick. I don't really see it as coral at all. If you guys think differently, feel free to let me know. I personally just see this as an orange lipstick, but nonetheless, I love it. If you guys are curious about the Jeffree Star liquid lipstick formula, I would really recommend just getting one. I really like it because it's super lightweight. It's very long lasting. When I talk, it doesn't stick. It's not gummy at all. It is my favorite liquid lipstick formula, hence the reason I own like 50 of them. I have a problem and I'm aware. We know. But yeah, I like this color. It definitely can make your teeth look a little yellow. So summer is also the season for teeth whitening. But let's go ahead and put on the next one. So the next color I'm doing is called Yummy, and it is an orange with some gold glitter throughout it. If you're curious why my door has suddenly cracked, it's because my dog opened it. And then real quick, I also want to do a sort of swatch comparison for you guys between this shade and the shade Pumpkin Pie. So he has a shade from his Christmas or holiday, I believe 2016 collection, yeah. So it's his holiday 2016 collection that he came up with Pumpkin Pie as well. I'm going to do a quick swatch comparison on the back of my hand because it's also an orange with gold glitter in it, so very similar. So this is Yummy all applied. The more you rub your lips together, the more the glitter sort of comes through. And then I just wanted to show you real quick on the back of my hand a swatch comparison between Yummy and Pumpkin Pie. So this is Pumpkin Pie and this is Yummy. Pumpkin Pie is just a little bit darker with a little bit more red in it, but they both have that sort of glitter that comes through like once you kind of rub it. They weren't completely dry, so that kind of messed it up. And then this is Yummy applied. So the next three, I'm actually going to not swatch on my lips because first of all, I know that they're not going to look good on me, and my lips are getting sore, to be honest, so just bear with me here. And I know some people might ask why I buy lipsticks if I know that they're not going to look good on me. Part of it is simply because it's Jeffree Star and I do buy every collection from him. It's a collection sort of deal for me, please don't judge. So these shades are 818, Thirst Trap, and Fudge Pop. 818 is just a very bright neon pink. I might wear this at some point, but it's just not very me. Thirst Trap is very light and metallic. It's something more so I would put in the center of the lips when I apply another lipstick. And Fudge Pop is like a metallic warm brown. Again, I'm not a big metallic lipstick person, so I'm sorry about that. It's not that I don't like Jeffree Star's formula of metallic lipsticks, I just don't like them in general. It's just not my cup of tea. But as Casey Musgrave says, you can't be everybody's cup of tea. And then this shade I will swatch for you guys on my lips. It is called Cherry Wet. This is probably going to be my favorite shade of the collection. But anyways, this is the shade Cherry Wet, and I really like it. I don't really get the name. I would have said Wet Cherry instead of Cherry Wet. If it's a pop culture reference or a reference of any sort, please let me know because I don't want to be stupid. I really like this because it definitely has a bluer undertone, and bluer undertones in red lipstick can definitely make your teeth look whiter, which I think it kind of does. And it's a little bit more subtle. It's not a bright, bright red. I feel like it has a little bit more pink in it. While I was charging my battery, I ate dinner, and some of my dinner had some oil like my salad dressing did, so it did break down my lipstick just a little bit, but that's important to know with liquid lipsticks is they're not like, what's the word for it? They're not invincible is the word, so just be aware of that when you're wearing these, but they still hold up pretty well. If you're curious about what's on my face, I am wearing the Colourpop No Filter Foundation, No Filter Concealer, No Filter Setting Powder, and their Sheer Press Powder. That's not my entire base. I'm wearing a Bare Minerals bronzer. Everything is going to be linked down below, or just not linked, but listed. And if you guys have any questions at all about the collection or about what else I'm wearing, please feel free to leave me a question down in the comments below. Overall, I am extremely happy with this collection. The eyeshadow palette is by far one of my favorite palettes I own. The lipsticks are beautiful, unique, very good formula as well. And just so you guys know, the palette does retail for $48, and then the lipsticks retail for $18 each. You can also get them on beautylish.com, and any order, I believe, over $50 can be broken up into payments of 3. I actually did that with the lipsticks, and then I ordered the palette separately so I wouldn't have to have such large payments. But I really recommend that for people who are on a budget but are looking to build their collection, because it helps not have to spend like $300 on a collection at one point. Anyways guys, I think that does it for this review try-on video. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them down in the comments. And of course, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like me or you like this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.